Welcome to ABX Reviews. This episode of Inimba is packed with drama, taking us deeper into the lives of its characters as secrets are uncovered, power is challenged, and young love faces serious obstacles. From tense family confrontations to corporate espionage, the stakes are higher than ever. Let's break down 10 key scenes from this eventful episode. Scene 1, the corridor confrontation. Ko is confronted by her father, Mr. Mabandla, after he sees her with Mawethu. He is angry and accusatory, demanding to know what she was doing standing in the corridor with a boy. Ko tries to defend herself and corrects her father when he calls Mawethu a boy, stating firmly that he is not. The scene is tense and establishes the strict control Ko's father tries to exert over her life. Scene analysis. This scene is a classic parent-teen conflict, highlighting a generational and trust gap. The setting in a corridor makes it feel like an ambush, amplifying the tension and Ko's feeling of being trapped and unfairly judged. Character motivation. Mr. Mabandla is motivated by a desire to protect his daughter, but this manifests as controlling and distrustful behavior. Ko is motivated by a need for independence and to be treated as a responsible young adult, not a child. Deeper issues. The scene explores the deeper issue of family control versus a child's growing independence. It touches on the challenges of parenting a young adult and the struggle for trust and respect between generations. Scene 2, the stolen portfolio. Beniswa is on the phone with a friend, recounting how she secretly gathered information on Sydney's cleaning company portfolio. She reveals that his business is not doing well at all, despite his boasts, and that he has only gotten work for a few months. She is relieved she did not get caught, as it would have blown her cover. Scene analysis. This scene shifts the tone to one of corporate intrigue. It confirms that Beniswa is acting as a spy within the company, gathering intelligence for an unseen party, likely Zoleka. Betrayal. Beniswa's actions are a clear betrayal of Sydney's trust. She is covertly investigating a colleague to use his failures against him, which is a serious breach of professional ethics. What will happen next? With this damaging information now in the wrong hands, it is clear that Sydney's portfolio will be used against him, potentially to block his tender application or to publicly undermine his credibility at the company. Scene 3, Sydney's secret plan. Sydney confides in his son, Lathi. He reveals that the new boss, Zoleka, is planning changes and he sees her as an enemy. He instructs Lathi to stay focused and gives him a USB drive, stressing that he cannot afford to make a single mistake because phase 2 of his plan depends on it. Scene analysis. This scene establishes Sydney as the main antagonist to Zoleka's leadership. It moves the plot from general resentment to an active, secret conspiracy against the new CEO. Character motivation. Sydney is motivated by jealousy and a bruised ego after being replaced as CEO. He feels the position was rightfully his and is determined to prove that hiring Zoleka was a mistake. Greed. Sydney's actions are driven by a greed for power and status. He is not content with his current role and is willing to orchestrate a complex scheme to reclaim his former authority and discredit Zoleka. Scene 4, with a persistent invitation. Mawethu meets Ko after work and again asks her to go for a drink. Ko refuses, explaining that her parents do not know she drinks and she wants to keep it that way. Mawethu is surprised by how strict her parents seem. When she continues to decline, he suggests she must have a jealous boyfriend, and Ko surprisingly goes along with the lie. Scene analysis. This scene develops the romantic subplot, showing the external pressures on their potential relationship. It highlights the clash between Mawethu's more liberal upbringing and Ko's restrictive home life. Character development. Ko shows development by creating a white lie to manage the situation, demonstrating she is learning to navigate the conflicting demands of her personal desires and her family's rules. My reaction to the scene. This scene makes it clear that Ko is genuinely interested in Mawethu but is held back by fear of her father's reaction. Her decision to invent a boyfriend is a clever, if risky, way to let Mawethu down gently without revealing her true constraints. Scene 5, the teasing brother. Lathi looks at Mawethu's phone and sees a flirtatious message. He teases his brother, claiming Mawethu is making him look like an amateur by juggling multiple women. He proudly tells him to bring it in for a hug, saying even their dad would be proud. Scene analysis. This light-hearted scene provides comic relief and insight into the brothers' relationship. It also adds a layer of misunderstanding to Mawethu's love life, as the second message is likely from Beniswa in her professional capacity. How characters impact the story. This moment of teasing creates a false narrative around Mawethu's character, suggesting he is a player. This misconception could later cause complications in his pursuit of Core if she hears these rumors. Story predictability. The scene is a bit misleading, which is good for the story. It leads the audience to believe one thing about Mawethu's intentions, while the reality is that he is genuinely focused on Core, making his character more nuanced. Scene 6, the family photo discovery. Yanga brings an old family photo album to his parents. He has found a picture of his father with a woman who is not his mother, holding a baby. He asks who she is, hoping to add something interesting to his family tree project. Scene analysis. This is a major plot point that introduces a long-buried family secret. The mood shifts from casual curiosity to immediate tension and defensiveness from the father. Deeper issues. The scene explores deep issues of family history, secrets, and the past coming back to haunt the present. It questions what constitutes a family and what histories parents choose to hide from their children. What will happen next? The father's sharp reaction guarantees that this is not the last we will see of this mystery. Yanga's curiosity will likely drive him to investigate further, potentially unearthing a secret that could shake the entire family foundation. Scene 7, the father's sharp reaction. In response to Yanga's discovery, the father quickly takes the photo away. He firmly states that the photo will not be in the family tree and orders Yanga to go to bed, cutting off any further discussion despite Yanga's protests about his unfinished assignment. Scene analysis. The father's reaction is swift and authoritarian, effectively shutting down the conversation. This confirms that the photo reveals something he desperately wants to keep hidden. Character analysis. The father is portrayed as someone who wants to maintain a perfect family image. His refusal to engage on the topic shows he is not ready to confront this part of his past and will go to great lengths to keep it buried. Lessons learned. For Yanga, the lesson is that some questions are not welcome. This moment might teach him that his family's public story is different from its private history, a confusing but formative realization for a child. Scene 8, the morning aftermath. The morning after the confrontation, Core's mother, Nomvula, tries to smooth things over. She tells Core to have a good day, while Mr. Mabandla remains stern. After Core leaves, he complains to Nomvula that their daughter is as stubborn as her mother, Zoleka. Scene analysis. This scene shows the aftermath of family conflict. Nomvula acts as the peacemaker, while Mr. Mabandla holds on to his frustration, and we get a crucial piece of information linking Core to Zoleka. Character motivation. Nomvula is motivated by a desire to maintain family harmony. Her gentle goodbye is an attempt to counterbalance her husband's harshness and show Core she is still loved. How characters impact the story. The reveal that Zoleka is Core's mother is a huge development. It connects the family drama directly to the corporate power struggle, raising the stakes for everyone involved. Scene 9, the tender argument. Mr. Mabandla tells Zoleka that he has applied for a tender at the very building where she works. Zoleka is immediately worried, fearing her boss will think she told him to apply. Her father is dismissive of her concerns, insisting that if his portfolio is good, he will get the pitch. Scene analysis. This scene creates a direct professional conflict between mother and daughter. Zoleka is caught between her demanding father and her powerful boss, putting her in a very difficult position. Character motivation. Mr. Mabandla is motivated by ambition for his business and sees an opportunity, blind to the professional jeopardy it puts his daughter in. Zoleka is motivated by self-preservation and a fear of being seen as unprofessional or nepotistic. My reaction to the scene. This is a very stressful situation for Zoleka. Her father's single-minded focus on his own goals, without regard for her career, shows a lack of support and adds another layer of pressure to her life. Scene 10, Zoleka lays down the law. In her office, Zoleka gives Sydney a list of tasks, including sending projections to the board. When Sydney says he will do it when he finds the time, Zoleka firmly tells him there is no time to find and that he must do what she says when she says it, as it is part of the compulsory handover. Scene analysis. This is a power play that establishes Zoleka's authority. She will not tolerate Sydney's insubordination and makes it clear that she is now in charge. Lessons learned. The lesson for Sydney is that his new boss will not be intimidated or sidelined. She is asserting her control, and his old tactics of passive resistance will not work. Story strength. This scene is strong because it shows a powerful woman confidently taking charge in a hostile environment. It makes her a compelling character to root for in the face of Sydney's underhanded schemes.